it's going to be Royal taking on Myth.
Yeah, and every 20 seconds, yeah, that's the passive that Zuka. Every 20 seconds, he deals damage to enemy heroes. Basically, it's up to 20% when he's maxed out. That's 20% damage from one of Zuka's hits. So this is something that they need to be careful because Zuka can easily jump on the back line due to his ability to jump 3 times and then do a stun on the 3rd jump. So this is something that I'm really excited to see how Zuka's gonna be played here.
And so now, as we are up into game number 2 of the 3rd match of the day, Myth has a lot to change, a lot to fix. And looking at the way that their combination is pulling against that Zuka, we can already see a lot of fights in the top side of this map. We haven't really seen any solo kills in the lane. So a lot of these teams, obviously roaming themselves around side lanes, playing very cautious, making sure that they're not getting themselves caught out too far. Yeah, exactly. The key is once you win side lane, look at Zuka. He's winning the trade here, and he's taking the bird. It's going to give him a little advantage lead, and also the bird's going to give vision. And you can see Malik, this is the weakness of Malik. He has heal, never has punish, so you can contest against a Malik because you have more damage than Malik does. And look at that, catching out Shikaru. Really nice rotation there by Royal again. And so 1 kill already into the pockets of Royal. They are the ones taking themselves a little piece of an advantage. And that Lubu skin, can we just pause on that Lubu skin for a second? Because he's definitely enjoying his time on the beach. Yeah, he is. That skin is really great, and I love that they're playing a Lubu jungle. He's actually played in other regions as a jungler because of his ability, his fast movements. He has a knock-up on his 3rd jump. He's super mobile, and he's also has so much sustain. When he ultimates, he has a ton of lifesteal, and it's extra hard to take down because of that. So now looking at the rotations that we have coming out of Royal, obviously posturing themselves a little bit farther towards the bottom side of that map because those early Abyssal Drakes are extremely important to the efficiency and the time of their team. And almost as if they're listening on cue, they're going to end up taking and securing that Abyssal Dragon. Really good job here of taking map control. But however, it's going to put them in a tough spot, and they're going to get gauged upon. And they're going to drop they're going to keep on the dragon. But L'Oreal is low, and Tulin gets the kill on the L'Oreal because they're trying to overly focus this dragon. And this is really risky for the side of Royal here. And look like Myth. Oh! Lee's able to pick himself up that dragon, but that doesn't mean that the fights aren't happening. Double kill going over favor in Myth. Shikaru having that off. Ganji having a lot of damage. He's going to have to go under the tower. It looks like there might be a dive, but they're going to have to be careful because there is a Wonder Woman waiting in the wayside. Yeah, but look at that punish there by Lee. He's able to get that Abyssal Dragon right before it dies, and his opponents were not able to punish it in time, and he punished it at the right time to secure it. And that actually is an okay trade. It's an even trade, I would say, but the Abyssal Dragon does give that experience advantage over to the side of Royal. So now as we get ourselves, you can hear the soft ribbit of the frogs on the Antares battlefield. We might be having battles, but the wildlife is still up and ready to go. As we see the Might Golem being taken by 2 of the members here for Royal, trying to get a little bit of a delayed invade. Numir and his teammate aren't going to be able to have that as Simjo is waiting. And now, let's talk a little bit about Simjo. We obviously saw his proficiency on the Tulin. What is it now that he's on this L'Oreal? Yeah, with L'Oreal, he wants to go in with Lubu, with Lee. When Lee goes in, he needs to go in. And once he blinks in, he needs to set his ultimate, her smite, which he just activated here, and then fight within that ultimate because it lowers her cooldown. It helps her blink much more often, allowing her to get her passive off because every time her damage hits 3 times, it sets off these explosions that do true damage, and it also heals her for 110 HP for each explosion. So that's why L'Oreal is so good when teams bunch up, and she can basically 1v4, 1v5 if done correctly, as we've seen in other regions. Farming a little bit off that wave to make sure that they can get themselves as much early gold as possible. Those early item spikes being extremely important. As now we're going to see a little bit of a scuffle. Zuka's going to be able to dip, dodge, dive, and get himself into the fight. They're going to push towards the tower. He's going to be forced to walk away because it's Myth that's now deciding to take over. Lubu's going to join the fight. A sliver of health, a rock turned into a pebble, but he's still going to find himself alive as the members of Royal barely make it out. Yeah, what a good engagement. This is a smart decision to rotate. There's no mid wave there, so they're going to go ahead and rotate and get the Abyssal Dragon, which is going to put Myth back in the lead, I believe, here from the Dragon. And it's going to give them a go. Unless Motorman can steal it here. Oh, the Roma gets it, and it's going to even out the lead right there for them. Yep, and that's also going to be ultimate down there. Sky Crew going to take down Wonder Woman. as we're going to have Lubu farming himself up into that jungle. But another scuffle has happened. Who is going to come out on top of this? You're going to see Shintaka. He's going to join the fray, but that's going to force a disapparition of the members of Royal as they want to get the heck out of Dodge.
Yeah, and this is interesting. Thane is building 2 weapon items, so I'm wondering what item he wants to complete here. It looks like an offensive item he wants to complete on his side. But remember, they do have 2 heals compared to the side of Royal. They only have 1 heal on the Lumber. They do have an Execute on the Panda, so what they want to do is Lubu and Panda want to go on the back line to either focus down the Ryoma or kill the Tulin or even get Morin. And that's something that they need to start comboing their team fights around so Royal can win against Myth here.
You still have a roughly 800 gold lead in favor of Royal. They were able to take themselves an early turret already. The bottom tier 1 has been taken. You have the Spirit Sentinel surviving and alive on that top side of the map. 50 seconds left remaining until you have the next Abyssal Dragon, but it looks like Shintaka, ooh, barely those iframes securing himself. He's going to be able to jump away, but now it's going to have to be Zuka. But we've talked about a lot about his mobility. He's going to get away. His team was waiting in the back just in case they had a little bit of over-aggression, as we're going to have a reset in the fight.
Yeah, well, I'd like to see Morin be more aggressive here. He's kind of just farming, getting his items here. Once he does have a good amount of items and damage, he's a hero that you want to build a lot of attack speed and crit on. He opted for Sonic Boots, actually, which is interesting for an ADC, because Sonic Boots reduces all damage by 15%, instead of getting attack speed. So he's being more of a tanky build and being able to survive longer, because I think of Morin's passive, you know, he can stack and he gets lifesteal the longer he's in a fight. So the longer he can last and survive, the better Morin's going to be in a lot of these team fights due to his precision passive.
So now we've got the members of Myth crowding themselves on the bottom side of the map. That turret is very low, but the other members of Royal are joining and waiting for that overcommitment. Hakai is going to go back, get that health back on that Wonder Woman. Abyssal Dragon is up and ready if either one of these teams decide to choose. But instead, the bottom tower goes in favor of Myth. They're going to set their eyes on the Abyssal Dragon. It doesn't look like Royal wants to contest.
Yeah, they're not. And look at Morin's build. He rushed Fafnir's Talon after Sonic Boots, which gives a good amount of attack speed and also lifesteal, which kind of synergizes with his passive. If he's the max level, he gets actually up to 26% lifesteal, plus that 10% lifesteal, and it makes him an incredibly strong opponent when fights last long. He's able to stack and get max lifesteal stacks here.
So now a little bit of a reset. Royal and Myth, uncharacteristic to the first 2 quarterfinals that we have played with a lot more patience and have understood that they want their resources in the right pockets before they decide to fight.
Yeah, the teams are pretty even right now. It just depends who's going to be better at engaging and catching one another out in these team fights. The Abyssal Dragon has been a nice priority for Myth there, taking 2 dragons over World's 1. And it's so even. It depends on, like, I think they're waiting for Morin to scale up, and once he gets his damage out of him, and he builds a lot of crit along with lifesteal, he's going to be able to carry this team in a lot of these fights.
And so now we're going to have a little bit of a scuffle. W's going to get himself off. Ryoma's going to have to run the heck away, but it doesn't matter. Simjo's going to be able to pick up that kill, and the onslaught continues. Royal is winning these fights and ensuring that they can get themselves the tier 2 turret. They're going to be forced to back away. Sky Crew wants to try to go in, but I don't think that's going to be what we want to do because multiple members of Royal are waiting.
Yeah, that was a nice engage, a safe engage onto Ryoma there. Ryoma only has 1 escape ability, so once he uses his first jump ability, he's pretty much dead meat. And that's something that they were able to take advantage of, lock him down, and everyone just dove him and make quick work of him. And now they're going to get a tower because of this. And yep, they're going to focus the tower here. Nice Lumber out to disengage and stop the Malik from trying to clean the wave there.
They want to be able to get themselves the fight. Shintaka is doing everything he can. The shield is not going to be enough because Simjo is going to pick himself up yet another kill. He's going to got himself kiting back. And that's going to be Wonder Woman picking up a kill as well. 3 for 1 rather, in favor of Royal.
Yeah, Royal did a really good job. Again, L'Oreal had her smite up, her ultimate, and she was fighting in the circle. And look, that was such a nice ultimate there by Morin, trapping and slowing Zuka down so he can then get the kill on him. One thing about Morin's kit is you can actually cast the Magnetic Storm with his ultimate, and if you use Impact Barrage with his B ability and you push someone into your Magnetic Storm, they will be stunned. So I would love to see that happen here in this game. If he can do that on Morin, he's going to set up a lot of plays for his team.
And So with that, we're just over the 10-minute mark. The advantage is in favor of Royal, only up about 1,000 gold due to the 2 Abyssal Dragons that Myth have been successfully able to secure. So despite the skirmishes, despite a lot of these battles going in favor of Royal, Myth is hanging on.
Yeah, Myth is hanging on. Royal does have the tower advantage. They did take down 2 towers, and now they need to exert map control. You know, they have the Slayer side of the map open in Sentinel, so they can take those when it spawns. And you notice that, you know, they're not positioning for when the bat is spawning and kind of looking at the jungle timers and the respawn timers here, but they are going to rush the dragon here.
Royal doing a great job at securing their second game 4th Abyssal Dragon of the match. We have not seen anyone go for that Dark Slayer just yet. We had a couple early Dark Slayers happen, but we're at the 11-minute mark and no one has decided to try that just yet. We can see second items being completed, and this is where the power spikes, a lot of these scaling carries, are going to start to take control.
Yeah, for sure. So interesting that Thane went for a Odin's Will. I don't see that item very much. It's a tier 2 item that basically increases your team's movement speed by 2% and deals additional 2% damage after you take damage, and you can stack it 5 times. So actually, it's not a team item, it's a self item. So this is an interesting item for Thane to build, actually, because it makes him a little squishier, and Thane needs to be a little tankier in these engages here.
So now we see the members of Royal trying to posture themselves towards the top side of the map. You have the bottom tier 1 still available and up in favor of Myth, which isn't going to allow too deep of a push for any of these minions, but the tier 2 in the top lane is going to go down just as I say that. And so now 3 towers to the 1 of Myth. Royal is in control.
Yeah, Royal's doing a good job. They're taking a tower, not getting punished for it, and that's a positive trade for them. Getting now their 3rd tower, which allows them even more map pressure in the mid and top side. Now they need to go for this bot tower and give themselves an additional gold lead by taking a bottom tower. But it looks like Morin and Tuna is going to rotate down here to protect it.
They don't want to.
Oh, it's not protected in time.
No, it's not. And this is going to create that opportunity for the minions to push farther onto the bottom side of the map. That could create a pressure. If they play the waves appropriately, they're going to be able to have an advantageous position fighting against that Dark Slayer, as now we are seeing a little bit of a lull. It's not something we're used to seeing here in Arena of Valor, specifically the Valor series that we've had today. Lots of aggressive matches as we're on the 3rd quarterfinal here in the top 8.
If you look at the build for Laura, it's a very meta build that's built in every region, especially if there's an ADC in an enemy team. She's building Aegis, which gives her additional mana, 400 mana and 360 armor, and anyone that attacks her, it reduces the attack speed by 30% and the movement speed by 15% for 3 good seconds. So if Morin attacks L'Oreal, he's going to get slowed, and his attack speed will be slowed because of that item she built. And she finished Hecate's, which is great for Pierce, and it gives her ability power 30% damage amplification. So really good build by Simjo here.
3rd Abyssal Dragon being taken down by Royal, extending their lead now to just over 4,000 gold at just over the 13-minute mark, as this is where things could potentially start to get frisky for the members of Royal. Simjo has got himself done up, I believe, 3 items completed, and that's where the L'Oreal can really start to take over.
Yeah, he has 4 items completed, and that's a really good build for L'Oreal to really start carrying, because now she can do a lot of damage. And then once she just gets tankier, her true damage and her passive is just too strong when the team bunches up here. So let's see if they're going to engage here, because Malik is a little out of position.
Shataka,
that's really good there.
Being forced to use that ultimate, that's going to be down for a couple more seconds. Nubir has the exit opportunities as well. Wonder Woman's going to try to help out, but the heal isn't going to be enough. Numir goes down to Hakai. That's going to be another kill coming out for Royal. And the 1 kill with that tank in the front line was all they needed. We would not be surprised if they decide to posture around that Dark Slayer.
You can see Thane is not that tanky. Although Odin's Will gives like 1,000 health, it doesn't get that much defensive stats because it has a damage stat on there. And you can see Thane will just whittle down his health so quickly.
Shintaka goes to the grave, and with 2 members of Myth on their death timers, having to sit and wait before they get back on the Antares battlefield, that's going to be an easy opportunity
for Dark Slayer.
Exactly.
And with Dark Slayer, they can now end the game, because once you get the Dark Slayer, that 30 damage bump, amplification, along with your team coordinating these fights on the tower and on enemy team, is going to really help you be able to push to win.
And so now with the Dark Slayer down, 25 seconds until the next Abyssal Dragon, this is all the pushing power that Royal wanted. We saw the way that they took advantage of the last match was not in the way that they went themselves onto aggression. It was the patience that they had and the capitalization on the misstep of Myth.
Yeah, for sure. So let's see what Myth is going to do to turtle this, because they need to turtle this and get Morin to late game carry, because he has actually 5 items. So Morin is actually looking pretty good and he's the most fed in the team right now. So if they can do a good play with Morin here, they're going to be good.
And look at the damage. It was a 3-shot by the Zuka to take down the tower. And that's going to allow another opportunity for Royal to push themselves on. And this could be it. The last team fight standing between Royal and the semifinals. All of the damage is going to come out. Simjo's going to go down.
Yeah,
the
wow,
carry, and
huge.
this is the turnaround here by Myth. They're going to be forced to have a change of direction. Zuka being able to take down, he's going to take down Numir. That's going to be the Dancing Panda. He's going to show you all of his skills with that staff. That's going to be all she wrote, folks, as the mega kill comes out by the Zuka.
In that game, a lot of people didn't use their ultimates. Zuka's ultimate's up, Morin's ultimate's up, Toon didn't use his ultimate. That was an interesting fight where a lot of the fights, they did not were able to pull off. I didn't see Morin use his ultimate at all, and if he were able to pull that off and stun people into the ultimate, maybe that would change the course of the fight. But really nice engage by Royal there.
The under anticipation of the Zuka pick, something that we didn't really highlight a lot upon. He was in the side lane by himself for the majority of the game, but we got to see the strength, the prowess, the mobility of that Panda Assassin.
Yeah, and he knew that he had the advantage lane against a Malik. He basically took the Vision Bird. He got ahead. He used Execute pretty expertly. Execute is really good when your target is certain HP, so really good job there. And Simjo actually did okay in L'Oreal, but Zuka was definitely the carry here for this team.
It was all about that last fight, but before we get to that last fight, we're going to have ourselves a couple replays to look at. We've got our first replay, obviously, that's going to be coming in at just over that 2-minute mark. And again, we can't talk about it enough. It's an exciting storyline to think about coming into the semifinals, or it would be the finals if SK would have to play Royal in week number 1. But their execution, when they decide to hit that go button, is extremely proficient.
Yeah, and that's what I'll be looking at for Saturday once these teams face off, is who is going to be the better initiator and a better team fighter and the better counter engager as well. So it's going to be a lot of exciting, heated battles for sure coming.
Well, let's go ahead and throw it to the first replay. Like we said, it's just over that 2 minutes. It was that Abyssal Dragon Scuffle, and this is where we already got to see the power that Royal
this was
provides.
the key here, where Lee was able to use his punish and secure this dragon. Even when they lost the fight and gave over 2 deaths, it could have been a really bad situation for them, because they're splitting the damage, they're juggling the dragon, and they're giving over kills. But because he's able to punish the right time, right here, he gets it. And you can see that play really made the trade not as bad for them.
And so it was a valiant effort, obviously, by Myth to secure themselves the beginning of the victory, but they didn't have the ability to take it to the next step. Taking it to the next step was actually in favor and in the strategy books of Royal, with our next replay coming off at about the 9-minute mark. And this is where we really got to see the strength that Royal has.
Yeah, and look at this here. This is the dive. They had the lumbar on the Malik. He is CC'd. He has to use his ult to get out, but he's not able to get out in time, and they're able to basically take him down and focus and win the fight here. But L'Oreal is doing a ton of damage there in her ultimate.
If you're capable of keeping that L'Oreal on the back line and consistently providing the positioning to execute on the damage that you have at your disposal, you're going to find yourself in an advantageous position, which is exactly what Simjo has.
Yeah, exactly. That's what makes L'Oreal such a high-skill player. If you understand her win condition, you play around it, and you fight as hard as you can in her ultimate, she can literally carry the game in a lot of these team fights.
Well, now we're going to get to look at the second mega kill of the day. It's going to be going over to Zuka and the side of Royal for our final team fight replay that actually ended the match. And while this was a very long out team fight, it was the zippy Zuka that took the victory.
Yeah, look at him there. Look at, he jumps in, he ultimates, he gets the stun, he knocks them out, and his item build, he does so much burst damage. I mean, look at the Morin, this has no chance. He has Omni Arms, crit, attack speed, all that, just going in there, getting that mega kill. So very, very good job by the Zuka player here, the quad kill.
Great indeed. The mega kill going over onto Zuka. Now, they have secured themselves their win. They make themselves to the semifinals. We can pull up that top 8 bracket for you in just a second to show you who exactly it is that they're going to potentially be facing. We've got SK, we've got Nova on the top side. We had Royal taking out Myth, and they're going to face the winner of For the Dream and Arctic Gaming.
Yeah, and For the Dream is a very good team. They're formerly known as My Little Ponies and actually won some of the Community Cups. So they're a team that you can't really underestimate, and a dark horse in this tournament for sure.
So For the Dream and Arctic Gaming, our 4th and final qualifier or quarterfinal match of the EU bracket. Obviously, we've got North America later on today, so don't go anywhere. Don't go. We've still got North America and seeing what they have to offer. But any preliminary thoughts on For the Dream and Arctic Gaming?
Yeah, you gotta watch on For the Dream. I think they have Arena of Violet is their jungler. Very, very proficient jungler, and that's something you need to watch. Arctic Gaming, I'm looking to learn more about this team and seeing what they can bring against For the Dream, who's the favorite to win this matchup.
Well, one more European match for the day before we move on to the North American bracket. We saw Royal take the victory over Myth, but now For the Dream and Arctic Gaming get the opportunity to show us what they have. Take a seat, take a break. We'll be right back in a few with the Valor Series presented by AT&T. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Valor Series presented by AT&T. 3 of the 4 quarterfinal matches for the European top 8 bracket has been completed, and we're down now to the final match. It's going to be For the Dream, the number 2 seed, taking on the number 7 seed, Arctic Gaming.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting match because For the Dream is the favorite, but Arctic Gaming is an unknown team looking to learn more about their roster and their playstyle, but we know that For the Dream is really good on marksman heroes. Arena of Violet is someone that's very well known for, of course, Violet, and other ADCs such as Lindis and etc.
Now, we've had all sorts of action in the first 3 matches. We've had a lot of heroes we weren't expecting